I'm not mad. I find it over and over again. The same excuses for the same problem. I'm too busy. I don't have enough time. My family won't do it. I don't have the room, the patience. What am I talking about? I'm talking about recycling. And believe me, I understand. I've heard all the valid reasons. I've seen the commercials, recycle, reuse, repair it. While talking to a hardworking gentleman at our local recycling center, he made it pretty plain. He said, I see these people bring in 3 bags of garbage, and there's so much waste in them, there's so much plastic. He said, 3 bags, why can't one be garbage? One can be plastics, one can be the other recycle. It's not that hard to do. According to the UCLA, just about any type of paper is recyclable. 1 ton of paper made completely from recycled scrap saves enough energy to heat and air condition the average American home for at least 6 months and saves 17 trees. Some more unflattering facts are Americans represent only 5% of the world's population, yet create 30% of the world's garbage. We produce an average ourselves of 4.3 pounds a day of garbage, each individual American. Producing a soda can from recycled aluminum produces 95% less air, water pollution, and energy than making it from scratch. And we use 4 billion plastic bottles every hour. That's every hour. Yet only 1 in 4 is recycled. Recycling 1 ton of glass saves equivalent of energy of 10 gallons of oil, and glass never wears out. It can be recycled forever. Tin cans, like those used for tuna and soup, are actually 99% steel. Americans throw away enough steel each year to build all the new cars made in America. And during World War II, salvaging metal straps from corsets saved enough metal to build 2 warships. In a National Geographic article by Tom Zeller titled, Does It Make Sense to Recycle? The short answer is yes. Recycling, substituting scrap, virgin materials, not only conserves natural resources and reduces the amount of waste that must be burned or buried, but it also reduces pollution and the demand for energy. What most people don't realize is that a majority of unrecycled plastics gets dumped in our oceans. And yes, it is legal to dump in the oceans. The information I discovered about the oceans being our biggest plastic landfills was appalling to me. Still, some people aren't convinced. I have some valid things to show you. Plastics. Plastics. These 2 bags represent 1 week of plastics from our household of 4 people, which would have gone into the landfill. Higher fuel prices produce products from recycled material is much more cost efficient than creating them from scratch. Contaminated drinking water from throwing away toxic materials like batteries, computers, things that shouldn't be in our water, chemicals that get thrown out, oil that gets dumped in the ground. And the big thing to me is it kills wildlife. You've heard stories of the plastic rings that birds get caught in, the nets, the garbage they eat, the toxins they eat that kill them. And if you saw the pictures, you'd be appalled too. Here's one point everyone can understand is money. Creating brand new packaging, metals, plastic, paper, and other materials, on the average uses more energy than recycling the same materials. A good example is aluminum. As opposed to creating new aluminum, recycling old aluminum saves 95% energy. Let me give you an example of how I recycle on a daily basis. Like I said, I have 4 adults living in the house. This represents the plastic. This is the steel cans from 1 week. Now remember, all this goes into a lot of people's regular garbage bags. These are the aluminum cans that we save, and every 6 months or so we have a good amount of bags and we take them to the recycle Reynolds Center, and we get, lo and behold, we get cash, which is a really wonderful thing for me. My first rule when somebody comes in my kitchen and empties something is you stick it in the sink. You take the lid off, you rinse it out. It's very simple. You leave it in the sink to drain. The cap goes on the side. How many times did you go into your kitchen a day? Me, probably 20, 30. On every trip, I'm either rinsing a can and setting it to the side or putting it in the assorted bag. And I have several. One for styrofoam polythyrate, which goes to the grocery store. They have a recycle bin. As I said, these others go to the recycle bin themselves in the correct containers. The steel also goes down there. The aluminum cans we get cash for. But one thing we haven't talked about, and I'm sure you're wondering why I mentioned lids. Lids. I keep every lid, and there's a reason for this, and some people think that's crazy. No, it's not crazy. We have the most beautiful murals that have been made by school children, summer programs, church groups, all kinds of groups now are using these lids to make these beautiful murals, which I will show you a picture of. There's a book by a gentleman called Michael Stillison, I'm sorry, I messed up his name, called Little Bottle Cap. And there are the most beautiful murals, how to do them, and it's a great, cheap, inexpensive way to contribute to your community for the children to have a good activity. In conclusion, we can accomplish a lot when we all pull together and recycle. And in this house, they know. If I find it in the garbage and it isn't recycled, somebody's going to hear it. They know everything gets recycled that can get recycled. Just as an example, Black Friday, the coupons that came, and these are just the coupons that came for the Black Friday, or after Thanksgiving. This is one person's Black Friday ads. These are just ads. Multiply that by the hundreds of thousands of people that get the newspaper. Where does all this go? How many trees does it take to do this? Is it really worth it? In conclusion, I really want you all to stop and think that the time and effort, it isn't that much. I don't spend 10 minutes a day doing this. It's a habit, and I don't even think about it. I rinse it, I set it to the side, I put it in the correct bag. Once a week, we take it to the recycle center. I feel like I'm doing my part. I feel like I'm helping my next generation. Do you want your grandkids, your kids, to be saddled with the responsibility that we have left for them by not recycling? After hearing all of this information I have just one request. Don't add to your landfill. A few minutes daily will mean a lot and a big difference for our world in years to come. Thank you.
These are some of the murals that I have found that children can make from the recycled lids. I love this one. One of my favorite pictures anyway.